As a musician, I have the privilege and all its challenges to be active in these four roles: performer, composer, teachers, and academician. I will share to you about my role as a performer and a composer this month, and the other two roles, teachers and academician, next month. I will share to you how each of these roles has sharpened my analytical interpretations. Let me introduce these three friends of mine, A, B, and C. They have the same level of sensitivity and intelligence, experience and education. A attentively listens to these Beethoven 32 variations and does some studying on this piece and its composers. B does the same, but with the addition of some practicing. C does what A and B do, with the exceptions that C brings this piece to the stage. Speaking of the ideal situation, C has more potential and chances of knowing the piece and the composers. Why? Let me bring back my board first, because this is a very important point. Being a performer means being a messenger. It is not only a relationship between Beethoven and me. I have the responsibility of bridging the composers to my audience. I must internalize his message. I must capture the entire piece to understand the meaning of the message without missing any details. In short, I am not a lifeless messenger, delivering a lifeless message to a lifeless audience. It is all about life and being alive, even though the composer has long gone before us. I want my audience to meet Beethoven as much as I do and experience revelations in his music as much as I do. In my young age, I used to study and practice Beethoven's music quite a lot, but only lately that I started to perform his music more. In my younger years, I was like A and B in my illustrations, but I am now to become more like C. Beethoven was like a friend that I know, but was not that close. I knew about him, but now I know him. And my acquaintance of Beethoven grows with every performance of his music, his message, his stories, his soul, his life. I'm starting to have the feeling of who Beethoven was and who he was not. And I do want to know him more. I'm exploring different types of his expression, from his most peaceful inner being to his most fiery being, from his most enthusiastic energy to his most desolate despair, from his playful spirit to his serious profound vision, from his most complex thoughts to his most simple whispers. So many wonders in my journey as a performer. And as my experience grows as a messenger, my analytical interpretation also grows with that. Now I will share to you the benefit of my composing experience. When I compose, I start from structural sketches and then elaborate them. At times, the process is very spontaneous. At other times, the process is craftier. I would show you in this piece, Beethoven started with a very simple, very common skeletal harmonic progressions, but this maestro had turned these ordinary materials to become extraordinary and successfully kept the simple, straightforward nature of the theme. There are numerous amazing elaborations within the theme itself. This is a simple 5 notes going upward stepwise and the bass line moving in a contrary motion downward. Two things that Beethoven did to these 5 notes. First, adding a semitone between the major subdominant and dominant, placing a German 6 to this F sharp. Second, Beethoven passed this 5 note series and went for the 6th A flat. Now look at what he did. He gave the fullest texture with a sforzando, a sudden explosion, to this peak in a minor subdominant chord. The harmonic pacing before this peak moves steadily, 1 chord per bar. Beethoven then cut short the fifth note, only gave a crochet to it. Also observe the demi-semiquaver pickup notes. Their pacing is also getting tighter near this peak. One more thing, the subdominant chord of the peak is the longest in its durations throughout this 8-bar theme. Texture-wise, hear from the thickest at the peak to the thinnest that comes afterward. Except for the opening, we find silent downbeat here. Also how sparsely spread the notes are after the peak, vertically into octave distance and horizontally separated by rest. My experience in composing has helped me to see how the mind craftfully, eloquently expresses and captures the abstract emotions or stories of the soul. I could see clearly how Beethoven had turned what is ordinary to become extraordinary. Being able to see this clearly will open many more possible choices of interpretation.